In the case of a healthy man, when his mind is free from objective notions and sleep has not yet come, there is pure consciousness. Realization, at first, is a hit and miss thing. And here it's describing the case when you might actually stumble upon consciousness, or the nature of consciousness. In the case of a healthy man, in other words, you're in a state of relative contentment. You're not in some frenzy or state of mental agitation. You're not overwhelmed by any particular mood. Your mind is free from objective notions. These are notions of objects, notions of a world out there. You might just be feeling everything is right with the world. You're feeling at ease. You don't feel any particular need to do anything. There's no anxiety bothering you. You're not sleepy. Sleep has not yet come. There is pure consciousness. That's it. That's it. It's not something which has to be struggled for by doing lots of meditation or lots of spiritual practice. It's there. It might be there several times during the day, but you haven't appreciated what it is. You might think, well, that's not very exciting. You want enlightenment to be some kind of cosmic fireworks. Well, if you realize what's happened, what you stumbled on, then it can be very exciting and you can have this blissful state for a while. But it's our consciousness. It's not about higher states of consciousness. It's about consciousness and realizing the nature of that consciousness, which we call our consciousness. That nature which exists in grass and creepers growing in their proper seasons without the feeling of mine-ness is pure consciousness. One wonders where that leaves pot plants and tomatoes being grown in hot houses, because they're not being grown in their proper seasons. As I mentioned in the last video, everything can be realized as pure consciousness. It's like the objects in a dream. The grass in a dream is no different from the mountain and sky in a dream. It's all consciousness. But I don't think that's the meaning that's meant here. There's a distinction being made. Grass and creepers growing in their proper seasons without the feeling of mine-ness is pure consciousness. What it seems to be saying is that grass and creepers have the realization of pure consciousness, or pure consciousness realizes itself in freely growing grass and creepers. So there's a bit of a conjecture here, I think. But I think it's indicative, though, of how we might be relating to the world around us and how we relate to the universe. Are we perceiving the universe as inert, as dumb, even though it created very intelligent beings like us? Or is the universe vibrant? Is it in communication with us? Is there not a spectrum of such communication? Whether it's communication from a rock says something to us. A good photographer, for example, or a good poet will capture this. But what a rock is saying is different from what a field of grass is saying. So this is a way of relating to the vibrancy of the world, rather than seeing it as dumb, inert, and mechanical, which is a modern prejudice, really, because it's none of these things. So yes, let's appreciate the consciousness of creepers, of grass, of trees, of rocks even. This is what the poet and the photographer, a good photographer, can do. The nature of one who is free from percepts and concepts, but is not dead, and whose being is clear and pure like the winter sky, is pure consciousness. So you can be free from percepts and concepts. Percepts are notions about perception going on, and concepts are the beliefs that we have about what is going on. We tend to substitute our beliefs about what is going on for what is actually going on. And we say our belief is the reality. But if you're free from that, and you're not dead, because a dead person hasn't got any percepts or concepts going on either, then this is pure consciousness. It's the realization. And your being is clear and pure like the winter sky. In other words, you're just letting everything happen. And you might find moments like this, maybe sitting in the garden, listening to some music, or sitting on the beach, when you're relaxed, naturally relaxed. Nothing's bothering you at that particular moment. This is another time that you stumbled into pure consciousness. I've said previously that the state of liberation is something that you possibly can stumble into several times a day. But you're not seeing it, you're not appreciating it, you're not realizing it. And what we've got here are some instances. The pure being of wood and rock, which are as they were created, as also the mind of pure beings is pure consciousness. So this is the thing about wood and rock. They are as they are. They haven't contrived any belief in what is mine and what is yours and substituted that for the reality. So this is something that we can tune into with nature. It is as it is. We don't judge it, but we can tune in to its pure being. And this is pure consciousness. That is pure consciousness in which all things exist, from which they emerge, which is everything, and which is all in all. And if that sounds a bit too abstract, just think about the dream. Your dream is consciousness. Everything which exists within the dream is consciousness. All the forms, all the shapes, all the feelings. It's everything. It's the dream which is everything. And we began this chapter pointing out that there's no essential difference between waking and dreaming. We can say that all this is consciousness. Everything emerges from it. It is the all in all. It is consciousness in consciousness.